Yo, what's up manga fans? This is Raphael from C Manga and I'm here to give you a review of this week's chapter of the Breaker New Ways 139. And I have to say I definitely did enjoy this week. It felt, had a lot more content in terms of dialogue than last week. Last week was good, but it was just like, it was too short in my opinion. I know some people say, oh, it's always short, but it just felt like it cut off and, it just didn't end properly or like smoothly. It just like he crushed the guy's skull and then it was done. But this one felt more filled out, and I was surprised with someone making a return who I definitely thought was dead. Most of the, I'd say, chapter focused on Kang-Sung and like the corruption of the mirror world, and I feel sorry for Kang-Sung quite a lot. He seems like he's one against a million in terms of his ideals and his beliefs. He seems like he's the only person who's in a position of power but hasn't been corrupted by modern ways of like I say war and fighting and stuff like that. Most of the old Murim I say like elders or officials and members are corrupt now. They seem to care about power and any way you can claim it. And at the beginning I felt sorry for Kang-Sung quite a bit, because it's like he's up against Chun-Woo, the Nine Nuts, the guy that's destroying people, and Chun-Woo's basically claimed that he's going to destroy the Mirror world and the Alliance in one fell swoop today, and obviously that's by killing Kang-Sung. And Kang-Sung's kind of accepted this. He's saying, I don't know how it's reached this, but I won't run from my destiny. And you have to feel sorry for this guy, because it's like he's accepting his death, and that whole part there made it feel like he might actually die. So whether that's going to happen or not is up for debate, but it did seem like a very humbling moment where he's like, I accept my fate. And this is the part, as I said before, where I was surprised. The former Alliance chief makes his return, and yeah, that's pretty much who he's called. I looked at the original break and I don't think his name was in there either, but I'm surprised to see him alive or even in any condition. I mean, that hit he took from Chun-Woo at the end of the last breaker, I thought it would have killed him or at least crippled him. I mean, granted, it did go through, it had to hit Shi-Woon first, hence breaking his key center, but still, it was enough to make him freaking crap himself and in fear as well. So, yeah, he's back. He's discussing with some guy on the phone about Kang-Sung's situation, how he's not prepared and people are begging him for help. And there was some little hinting at someone else who should be leader, but they never actually revealed who it was. So I'm wondering if that will be brought up again, who should actually lead the Alliance. And yeah, it's mostly it's just like he doesn't care. I'm not going to help, it's not my problem. And his ideals or beliefs is that everyone in the Mirror world only cares about power and getting, and no one gives a damn about Kang-Sung, because his ideals are justice and pure, and anyone who's reached power now and become corrupt doesn't agree with him, so they'll rather see him dead. And the only reason they're begging for help is not to help the Alliance, is to help himself, as he tells Moon Gima, who's been begging for his help as well. He's like explaining Kang-Sung's situation. It's a terrible one. It's not like he wanted to become the Alliance leader from what he's saying. It's like he was forced into that situation. So it's just more pressure to Kang-Sung. It's like, not only did he not want this position of power, now everyone is expecting him to do the right thing or fight Chun-Woo, and also it's just like everyone expects him to do the unthinkable and be corrupt and basically do anything that it can take to get the job done. It just seems like he's the only one who stands up for what he believes, and it's true, as it says in the chapter, he's honorable, so he'll take things head on, unlike everyone else who do things sneakily, try and avoid it and basically stab the person in the back, anything to get their power. And that's pretty much how people survive in the Mirror nowadays in this modern times. It's basically take advantage of something while you can. And the former Alliance chief is right. And he even says, people are just calling me not to help the Alliance, it's basically to help their freaking cowardly selves. So you have to respect this guy. He was an arsehole before, but he seems to have a very good grasp on the situation. Next little bit was interesting. We see Jin-Lee's in the car with Shi-Woon and everyone. They're on their way to the Alliance building, but there's traffic, And she has a flashback of Elder Kwon informing, Chung-Woo's return. He's attacking the alliance building, and Shi-Woon should think about the situation carefully, because it's much messier than before, where, yeah, regardless, you were the Nine Knots disciple and pupil, he was your master, but now it's like he's returned, he hasn't seemed to contact you, which means he probably doesn't know you're the Gaiju, and your position obviously is something he hates. You're part of the Murm, so to go and go there now would be a trouble. But Shi-Woon says he doesn't care. It's like, I have to go and prevent a conflict between Chung-Woo and the Murm Alliance. And Jin-Lee thinks Elder Kwon should have kept quiet, because everyone knew that Shi-Woon would obviously go and want to get involved. And we see this again. The elders try to persuade Shi-Woon to back out, because there's the situation of him going to help Chung-Woo, and he's meant to be the Gaiju of the Sun-Woo clan, which is part of the Murm, is going to be not very pleasing to obviously everyone else in the Murm, and that will probably backlash on him and the clan. But he says he doesn't really care. It's like, if he just sits there and lets them fight it out, as the elders suggested, let them fight it out. He's like, are you crazy? It's like, do you know what will happen? It's like, I know he's done all these things, but it's like, he's my master still. And not only that, the Murm Alliance is the one thing that's good for the Murm. It's like, if that falls, the Murm will be destroyed. So it's like, I've got to stop my master. He's still my master, but I've also got to protect the Murm Alliance. So it's like, he wants to just end this conflict, and I think he might do it. You never know. So he said Shi-Woon's character just said, it never ceases to impress me. He keeps developing, and he keeps telling them, I'm not going to back up. And we have this one moment again where he's like, I'm not scared of what the backlash or the results will be. It's like, the last time I did that, Elder Jong died, and he remembers him, and he says, ever since that day, I'm just basically going to live my life without regrets as a Gaiju, and also just as a person. So Shi-Woon has no regrets with his actions. He's going into this full head first, and he doesn't care what the outcome will be. He just needs to try and stop this conflict from happening, or he'll regret it later if he just sits back. So I said, it seems like there's going to be a massive rift when Shi-Woon gets there, if he can get there, because at the end we see Jong-Lee-won once again putting his snivelling little cowardly self involved. The police blockade around the whole building of the Murm Alliance is the reason for the traffic building up, and why the Sun-Woo clan can't get there, or any traffic is moving. So basically, I want this guy to die. He's just chatting his crap about how the Murm world is weak, and basically modern society, or the modern world, is more powerful with guns and everything. So he's the same person bringing a knife or a gun to a fist fight, and he has no shame about it. So that was the chapter. It was said quite filled out. I definitely had to read it like 4 times to process it correctly and understand. And I said, it seems like we're starting to learn a bit more about Kang-Sung's situation. The poor guy has a lot on his shoulders to take, man. He's the only one who seems to uphold justice and pure intentions, along with same as Shi-Woon, and he seems like he's got his back against the wall. No one wants to help him, no one gives a damn, and everyone just wants to save themselves, not the alliance. And Chung-Woo is intent of destroying it. And it makes you think, who's right? Chung-Woo destroying the Murm, which is now corrupt, or is Chung-Woo wrong to destroy the Murm, because there's still people like Shi-Woon and Kang-Sung who are pure and uphold the right ways. So as I said, this is where I think it's going to be some Mexican standoff, like someone mentioned before. So-Chun might even come, and it might be a 4-way friggin' fight off. So with Shi-Woon trying to protect the whole thing, and this might be positive. Everyone sees Shi-Woon as the prodigy child, the Murm way, who will make things right. And I said, there's a lot of conflict going to happen. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. This chapter made a nice build up, some returning characters, and I said some depth into people's background and what to expect, and so it's definitely good. So the usual, if you enjoyed this chapter, leave us any comments, predictions about this and the next one. What you think? Do you think Kang-Sung will die or not? Things like that. If you enjoyed this chapter, leave us a like, because it helps us out and the series, and also subscribe for any content in the channel, such as the Hajime no Ippo Rising review we're doing. And also, if you missed last week's review of the Breaker, you can check it out on the top right, and I'll speak to you guys in 2 weeks.